Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Peeling Back the Label. This is our last week of celebrating Bookstagrammers. And today we have Kristin Mauro. We're going to hear all about how she became a Bookstagrammer. How did she keep track of all her reviews? What books has she been reading lately? Maybe she'll give us some recommendations. All that other good stuff, and probably some personal stuff too. So stay tuned. I'm going to patch her in. And just so you know, this is our last week of Bookstagrammer edition. Next month, we'll go back to the authors, and I have a lot of good authors signed up. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to put her on. Just ask if you could join the live, Kristin, if you can. I had a good run. It has to work now. Let me see. Oh. Yes! It worked.
Yay.
Hi, Kristin.
Hello. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be with you guys today.
Me too. We have a lot to talk about, and I just wanted to maybe have you introduce yourself a little bit, and then let people know where you could be sought out at. If you might have a blog, you might have other ways of getting to you besides the Instagram. So can you say that?
Sure. I'm Kristin Mauro, aka Pause Read Repeat. Well, pause.readrepeat at on the Instagram, but I also have a blog at www.pausereadrepeat.com where I blog also. And I live on the West Coast. I live in Salem, Oregon, and I'm also a little free library steward. So I also put my books out there.
That's terrific. I love hearing that when you'll see a clip of somebody putting a book in, and then one time a lady put a book in. I think she kind of waited or something, and then all of a sudden somebody went and got it and took a picture. They went on Instagram, so she was just I kind of saw a full circle. It was kind of cool.
Oh, that would be awesome. I do peek when people are at the library because I can't help it. It makes me so excited. So
yeah, because they picked it for a reason,
Yeah.
and. So that's really cool. Now, how did you get pause, read, repeat from? Where did you get that from?
Oh, well, I'm a dog mom, and I'm a huge dog lover, and so I wanted something that reflected her, and so I thought, oh, pause, that's funny. And I think I do have a eat, sleep, repeat. No, it's read, sleep, repeat t-shirt, and so I kind of stole it from that a little bit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Now, you are also you're a doctor. You have the PhD, correct?
Yes, I do. Yep.
What is that in?
It's in higher education. So I've spent my career working in higher ed. I currently now, and mostly with students, but now I've transitioned and I actually do post-grant awarding with the college, but also our Center for Business and Industry. So it's been interesting. It's totally different.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about federal grants, regular grants, and other grants, and the reporting structures and just the rules we have to follow. They're all very different, but it's exciting and it's fun.
Yeah.
And I'm close to a lot of the student centers, so I still see the students a lot too.
That's so great. Oh, I love to hear that. And now this is this is out of college, right?
I work at Chemeketa Community College in Salem, Oregon.
Well, good for you. I'm so glad. Thank you for helping the colleges out. We all appreciate that.
Yes. I kind of think I never really left. I went to college and then I just kept going and staying, but it's been really rewarding.
That could be a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and they've exposed me to a lot of different things. They're reading different kinds of books, so they'll give me book recommendations. I give them book recommendations.
Oh, I love that.
I think it's a good partnership, to always just kind of stay connected with the younger people.
It is good.
People coming back. So
I agree.
It's been
I think if you're with younger people, they kind of make you feel younger, and you could give them wisdom, they could give you wisdom, and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great. And I love the community college students because they just know what they want to do. They're like, here's what I'm going to do. This is my plan. Whereas when I was at the university, a lot of times I worked with students that were just not sure. So it's kind of nice to have this population where a lot of them really do know, like I'm doing this and I'm going to this college, or I'm doing this and then I'm doing this career. So it's nice to have both sides. It's just a nice blend.
That's so great. So then how did you get into like being a bookstagrammer, being a steward to a little free library? How did you get into all that?
Well, I think like everybody, COVID hit, but I've been a lifelong reader. I'm an avid reader, and so I've always read. And then I had an Instagram, but didn't really do anything with it. And then I saw people were posting up books, and I was like, oh, well, I have books, and I love books, and I can do that. And so I just kind of got into it, because what else was there to really do in that time period? And that was when I learned to do my blog and set that up. That was really my first thing. I had a coworker who was a blogger and blogging about books, so she and I connected and outside of work. And then, yeah, she gave me like the tutorial of how to set up Blogger and get my blog going. I may have stole a few things from her too. I can't figure out the code, and she would just send it to me. And then from there, I started more on Instagram. And then from there, I kept trying to get my dad to build a little free library for me. My dad does live in Iowa, so it's a bit of a.
Oh, I was born in Iowa. My whole
Oh,
family's from Iowa.
no way.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. What part?
Des Moines.
Oh,
Well,
oh my.
mainly Des Moines, but we got some in Ames and a little scattered. But I would say like majority, Des Moines. That's where my parents grew up.
That's awesome. I'm from Ankeny.
Oh,
So just,
okay.
yeah.
So
And
one
I think
Midwesterner to another.
yes, that's
Even
awesome.
though I have a New York accent, I know, but I have the good morals and values of a
I
Midwesterner.
love
So,
it. I love it. It's such a small world. There's so many Midwesterners all over the place, and it's a great place to be from. But anyway, I kept trying to get my dad to build it, and he's almost 74, and he's just like, no. And then he was like, if they want you to do this, they should give you one. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they have programs. So I went online, and they do. They have several different programs. I happen to apply for the Impact program, which if it's I think Title I schools, low income. I'm trying to think the third one I qualified on. Oh, not having a lot of, I'm rural or I'm not rural, sorry, I'm city. And then we don't have a lot of little free libraries. There's like there's maybe 5 within a 45-minute walk that I was on all the time. So I applied and I was awarded it must have been like July of 2022. Because I think this October will be 2 years since I installed it. And I'm on a really busy street, so it's very busy. I restock it weekly pretty much.
wow.
Yeah, and I have one of the smaller ones, so it fits like 13 books comfortably, but like all stewards, I struggle with the like how many do I put in versus leaving enough room for people to put books into. And sometimes people just donate. My mom passed away in December, so I was in Iowa for a month,
Oh,
and I got like
sorry.
jammed a ton of books in there, and somebody took a picture and was like, your library's being maintained. So it was really nice that the community really, they didn't know I was gone, but they had done that for me when I wasn't around. So I thought that was
Oh, that's nice. So do you find like when you are on your walk and you're walking by, do you find that there really is a need for books to be put in there, or that you always have it packed?
Yeah, I think it varies. There's a new one just kind of down the street from me. That one seems to not, the books don't move really fast in that one because, of course, they give dog treats too, so we have to stop on our walk. But some of the others that are maybe a couple blocks down from me, there was one like it had no books in it for years. So like during COVID, I would go put books in it, and so I have a little bike route I take too that because I
Oh,
do.
oh, you're like the traveling library on a bike.
I know. Portland has one, and the people came and I read their book and they came to school, but I was gone the day they were here, so I didn't get an autograph or get to talk to them. But yeah, I think it would be awesome to have like a rolling library like they have, but I'm not quite there yet. Maybe when I
Okay.
retire.
Well, the reason why I asked you is because, for any authors that are listening or even readers and want to donate a book to you,
Oh
could
yeah.
they put a comment in, and then, you guys can like,
Oh yeah.
off the internet, connect with each other,
Yeah.
and who knows, you might get a book or two, because authors are so generous, and they love helping the little free libraries out, and maybe they'll send you a book and say, read the book and then please donate it, that kind of thing.
I would love that. I actually had that conversation with one of the executive deans yesterday. We were walking down the hallway. He's like, "Hey, I saw on Goodreads you want to read this book. I'm going to read it. I'm going to give it to you." And I was like, "Great." And he's like, "And I don't keep my books." And I was like, "Can I put it in my library?" And he was like, "Absolutely." So that'd be great. Yes, anybody can instant or DM me if they'd like to donate books. I am charter number 150021, and I am on the map. So,
150021. Okay.
yep. Yep.
Now, do you belong to a book club?
I actually don't.
Okay.
Um,
I just thought you did, because I know they also have where you could be, it's called an active book club, which means you're in the community. You might do book drives for, say, a school or a hospital or, mental health facility in the area and donate books. So I was just curious if you had a book club for that, but no.
don't, but it sounds like something I should look into for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
our book club does that. We don't have a
that's
little
awesome.
free library, but we do book drives and stuff like that for cancer organizations, mental health, like the kids at the hospitals, like when they're in a mental health hospital, there's really not much for them to do because they're not allowed to like have a lot of things because they don't want them to hurt themselves. So, and no hardcover books because they could hurt themselves, with the point of the book. So they ask for a soft cover, but in the younger ones, they want to take the books home, because they fell in love with the books. They made them feel comfortable while they were at their stay. So of course they let them, take them
Yeah.
home, but it constantly needs to be replenished because they all want to take the books home, which is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that. That's such a great philanthropic thing to do. I do need to put in, we do have a newsletter at work, and so I do need to put in a thing, and I'm going to wrap a box and have like a donation box and have it in my office.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that way if people wanted to donate, that's great. I also try to donate a lot of, like, once I've read and reviewed books, I do put them in there, especially, obviously if they're an advanced reader copy or one I've gotten from a publisher. Unless they autograph it, then I tend to keep the autographed ones just because that's cool.
I don't blame you. I would too, even at least for a little while.
Exactly.
Give you
Exactly.
some bragging rights.
Exactly. And then once I run out of room, which I kind of am out of, I'm debating, I have an unfinished basement. So I'm debating maybe building a small room down there to either be a library where I can have the whole thing, just bookshelves, or something else.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not sure.
would be great. Speaking of books, what's like your favorite genre? What do you gravitate towards?
My favorite genre is definitely thrillers. I love psychological thrillers and legal thrillers, but since becoming an influencer, I'm actually finding I really like romance books too. And that was kind of a surprise. I didn't know that I'd really like that, but I do. And of course, I love like generational dramas with lots of drama. Those are great. I'm currently reading Family, which is chock full of
Oh, okay.
family drama.
Well, I'm gonna write that down. Family. Who is that by? Do
That is
you have the
by,
book?
yes, I do. It's Laurie Frankel.
Oh,
And I'm about halfway through it. It's a rather new.
is she? Did she? Oh no, I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking of the PTA mom. That's not that. It's not that. It's not that author, is it?
No, I don't
No. Okay.
think so. I don't think so. But yeah, it's a great book. I'm about halfway through it, but it's about a famous actress in her younger years gave up two children for adoption, and now she has two other children who I think she got through adoption. So she's trying to tell the story of adoption isn't all bad. And sometimes, like the adoptive mom isn't necessarily ashamed of what happened. It's just the way this character viewed it was like, oh, it's not the right time for me, but I can help make somebody else happy. So let me carry this baby, place it for adoption. And she's very specific in how it has to be placed. She didn't give up the baby. She's not embarrassed. So it's been a really nice spin on adoption. Because I've read I'm a psychology undergrad, so I've read a lot of like not good books, and I've taken classes on the foster care system and things like that. So it's a refreshing, different twist.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and it's quite enjoyable. So, yeah, I'm about halfway through that one, and then I'm also listening to The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. That's an older one, but it had a lot of popularity a few years ago. And it's actually pretty good
The
too.
time,
And it,
can you show the book?
oh, I don't have the
Do you
book,
have
it's
it? Oh,
audio.
I forgot it's an audio,
Yeah.
but it's called A Time Worth Killing.
Yep, the kind, oh, sorry, the kind, Kind,
Oh,
worth,
kind. A kind worth killing. Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
that's good.
yeah.
I just finished reading uh oh my God, I'm so terrible at something. Listen for the Lie.
Oh, I haven't read that one yet.
I listened to it on audio and I really enjoyed it. It kept me up a lot at night because I'll listen to it at night a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I kept on going 30 more minutes, 30 more minutes. And then before you know it, it's 3 a.m. And I'm like, I got to shut this off. I can't.
Yeah.
But it was very good. It's definitely a page turner.
Yeah, that one is very soon on my list. I do have an advanced reader copy of it, and I do have audio as well. So,
The
and sometimes I,
audio I loved. I love the audio. I'm gonna say listen to it. You know why? Because it has there's a podcaster within the story. So it has like a little intro with the music like you would hear on a regular podcast. And then the guy told it's just interesting. Like you have to have yeah, you have to listen to it because you want I think you get you feel more into the book. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because it's like do so and so podcaster or blah blah blah. You know,
yes,
it's good.
and I love those kind of format of books. I can't think a couple years ago. I'm sure it was super popular on Instagram, but there was another one that was kind of written in that format as well. Or maybe I'm thinking, maybe it was The Family Affair or something. I don't know,
I don't know,
but
but
it
I
was
never came across a book like this, where it had I'm like, what? That was, how, why didn't anyone else think of this? This is genius.
that. And I'm totally intrigued by because that's the one where like the best friend killed her best friend but doesn't
Yeah.
remember who
Hmm.
killed her best friend.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm really
that's the
excited.
one. And there's so many like, oh, this one did it. No, this one did it. Well, maybe she did it. When it's just you're all over the place.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm gonna have to start it like on a Saturday morning before I start chores, and then I can listen to it all day long.
Yes, yes, and you'll get a lot done. Trust me, because you're not going to want to shut it off.
I bet. And I love those types of books too. And I do, and sometimes I do prefer to listen to audio just because of the ambiance or, the music and the different things they do to kind of give you like make you feel like you're in
Yeah.
the book with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Or the accent, if it takes place in North Carolina and they have that little sweet little Southern drawl, you know what I mean? Like you couldn't have a New Yorker do that. Like it would totally ruin the whole book if but they picked the perfect Southern belle to read. So I agree. And it makes you feel like you're in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've become a huge fan of audiobooks since becoming a bookstagrammer. I did have to train my brain because a lot of times my other
Yes.
friends at work, they're like, I can't do that. My brain like goes, and I'm like, yeah, you gotta like focus, and you do have to like, if your brain's like wandering, you have to be like, no, come back, and sometimes you have to rewind, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
but that's the beauty of rewind, that you can, there's sometimes where I went back a chapter and, just to read because I knew I wasn't really maybe paying full attention
Yeah.
and I thought I missed something. But how do you, besides rewinding, I'm just curious, how do you take notes or do you like quick type it in your phone or like what do you do if you want to remember something about the book? Like say
I
writing a review or something. How do you work? How do you do that?
yeah, I tend to write notes while I'm reading the book, and sometimes I'll tab my books if there's a specific like thing. Other times, if there's a quote I really like, then I'll put that in a notes section, or maybe just screenshot it and circle it so that way I've got it for later. Other things
That's
I
a great
do,
idea.
yeah, yeah, it kind of works.
Screenshot part, like that's something that my mom could do.
Yeah, well, and it saves time because it's like, oh, or I didn't have paper with me at the time, so I was like, oh, but I want this quote, and so I just did the screenshot, and then I had
I
it.
love it.
Yeah,
It's the beauty of the technology that we have. There's so much, but yet there's so much we don't know, but
right.
unless you start talking to people, they give you ideas and then the next idea comes. And so you just gave me an idea that I'm going to pass on to my mom. She'll probably love that.
Awesome. That's great. And sometimes I'll, like on Instagram with graphics and things, sometimes I'll look and see what other people have done. I did buy Canva Pro, and I do use all pro backgrounds just so that way, I have variety and it isn't always the same as other folks. So I do that, but I will look at other people that are on like the book tour to see, what did they say, what graphic did they use? Because I also like to try to be a little bit different and not, have the same graphic as maybe somebody else. So,
No,
um,
agreed. Totally
yeah, so I think
agree.
those are, and then of course I use Goodreads to track books I'm reading, and then I have kind of a separate tracker for because I try to read a certain number of books outside of what I'm reviewing for
Oh,
Bookstagrammer.
all right. So tell us that how many books like do you personally read a month, and how many books do you read, for book tours, say, or for like just like for an author asking you to read an arc? How does that work?
So I do have a request form on my blog if an author wants me to review their book, and I've gotten a
Hint, hint.
yeah, I've gotten a few requests through that. And generally, I do have a separate calendar where I just put my Bookstagram stuff. I've slowed down a lot. I had some health issues in 2022,
Oh,
and then I moved 2022, 2023, and then I moved into like my mom not being well, and then dealing with her stuff. So I've slowed down a lot. So now I'm doing. Oh, I'd say I do a lot with Biblio Lifestyle. So I'll do a lot of features with them. So I may have like 2 or 3 features a week with them. Then I'll read the book later and do a review. And then I work a lot with Partners in Crime book tours. And so they book out a long way. So I tend to like read the book when I get it, and then I'm just ready. And that's where I do a lot of notes. So, or I might even just write the review early. So as I've read it and then go out. Um, and with them, I maybe do like 1 or 2 a month, because I do like to try to read, enough of my own books. So I would say the last month has been really busy, so I haven't read as much. But I would say I get between 10 to 12 books a month between the two.
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
And you
pretty
you
much.
kind of rotate between, I guess Kindle print and audio.
Yes, 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 yes. And a lot of it really is audiobooks. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. I'm an influencer for Penguin Random House, so I listen to a
Oh,
lot of,
okay.
and
So
also,
you are busy.
yeah, so I,
Um, how do you like keep track of all the, like, say, I mean, this is a lot. You got to, you're doing the Biblio Lifestyle, you're doing the Partners in Crime book tours, you're doing, the Penguin Random House, and then any other book tours, like, like say with me.
yeah,
How do
yeah,
you keep track of all
really
that?
my calendar. I live by my calendar. And the other night I left my calendar here at work, and I was like, oh no. But it was okay. I remembered what I had to do, because I also sometimes will have like a list at home, because it's like, oh, take that picture, do this. And sometimes I do it in phases. Like a lot of times I'll take my pictures ahead of time, and then I come back and make the graphic and then do that. And
Yeah, so
but
it's a lot of work. A lot of people don't realize, like with Bookstagrammers, how much work you put into it, because you get the book, you got to read, put it on your calendar, then you got to read the book, you got to think about pictures, you have to think about what am I going to write for a review, when is it due, then you got to post all the reviews where they want you to post them.
yep.
So it's a lot of work, and I don't think people realize, like, just like the general public, I
Yeah.
don't think they realize how much work you put into it. And, you're not getting paid for a lot of this stuff. I mean, this is like out of the goodness of your heart, just like with your little free library. You're not getting paid for that, but you want to do it. You want to
Yep.
support authors and help them out. And that's why I wanted to do this whole, Bookstagram edition, to say thank you guys and tell you that you guys are doing a great job. And if it wasn't for you, these authors wouldn't really have any reviews. You know what I'm
Sure, yeah.
saying? Because we're asking you to put the review on. So a lot of times an author will just give somebody the book. They're not going to put the review on. They're not, but we know you will, because you signed up for the book tour or the you signed up to be a part of Random House, that you'll do it,
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely worth the time and effort for an author to like reach out to somebody like you, and then you'll let them know, like, I can read it, but it might not be for a couple months, but
Yes.
but you'll definitely be able to read it, for them.
Yes, yes. And with my author requests, that one, it's usually like, okay, my response generally is, how soon do you need me to do this? I can maybe do it like next month. So yeah, it's really just being super organized. But I do spend most of my weekends are a lot of Bookstagram stuff, either
Mhm.
just getting reviews ready. I like to work ahead too if I can, if at all possible, because
Yes.
sometimes I goof up and I will do like 5 reviews in a week. And I'm like, well, that wasn't very smart. So, because I also do with I read book tours too. I need to mention them because I do a lot with them too. I do a lot, but I do a lot of children's books too.
Hmm.
And so that makes it easier because they're short. I can read them. I can read it. I can do, I can do it the same day, like all the
Right.
same with that. And then longer books, I just have to chunk them out and make sure I get them done on time and stuff. Because it really does. People have been super nice. When I did go through my health stuff, I let a lot of people down. And I didn't do a lot of those reviews. And you know what? They didn't make me redo those reviews. They were just like, focus on your health. We understand. And so I've also found the authors are really, the book tour companies and the authors are super gracious, especially if you're honest. And I was honest. I
Right.
explained what was going on. And they were really nice about it. And some were like, okay, well, can you do them later? But honestly, I don't remember doing them later. So I either
Hmm.
did and I forgot, or I just didn't, and they've just been cool about it. But
Yeah.
I try to at least do a feature or when I am reading the book. I mean, I do know what books were during that time because they're all on my calendar.
Hmm.
So I try to make sure to give them a little bit extra love when I do get to them as
Well,
well.
that's very nice. But even doing a book feature, it's still work. I mean, it's still time and effort put in. So I'm sure they're very thankful for you doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I appreciate the opportunity. I really enjoy the diversity of books I get to read. Because some things that I wouldn't, sci-fi is another one that I'm like, oh, I don't read sci-fi, and then I read one. I'm like, why don't I read sci-fi?
Yeah,
So it's
I don't really read sci-fi either, but I don't mind watching it on
yeah,
TV. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I think I'd rather watch it than read it, but I don't know. Maybe I would like it if I read it. Yeah, I never really read sci-fi. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So maybe I should try it because I do like watching it on Netflix and stuff. So who knows? Maybe I'll try it. You twisted my arm.
There we go. Yes, yes. And like I said, it's just through Bookstagram of like it sounded interesting, and I wouldn't necessarily pay attention to what genre, and then I'd be reading, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So I try to do a lot of variety, but I am a lot of thrillers and
Yeah.
thrillers and things like that. But
Yeah, that's what I love about the book tours is, you'll get books that you never thought of,
yeah,
and they'll ask you, "Hey, can you read, a romance novel?" And you're only reading thrillers, and then you're like, "Well, all right, I'll try it." And then
yeah,
you're like, "Wow, this was a good book. I'm so glad I got out of my comfort zone." And but I don't think you would have read it if somebody didn't approach you, like a book tour
exactly.
company. Um, so it's nice. Also with representing the indie authors, the unsung heroes. The popular authors, they don't really need our help. It's the smaller ones that could really use, the boost.
Yeah, yeah, and I happened to meet an author in one of my engagement groups, and it was so funny. She didn't tell us for a long time that she was an author. Like we had no idea until the book was about to come out, and it was just really fun to get to know her as a person, and then know her as the author. And she has done 3 books. She's currently on hiatus doing something else. I don't quite know because I've kind of not been so involved with our group, but it's also been a fun way, to just meet. And I guess I've met a couple of authors because there's another person that had published books way before Bookstagram was even a thing. So it's been interesting just in the engagement groups, the type of people you get to meet too, and the different, just personalities and just different thoughts they have about books and how we can all read the same book and think something totally different. It's just really interesting.
Yeah. Now, do you have like any like other than the over the internet author encounters or experiences? Do you have any other, like, did you ever meet one in person that you were really happy about, or did an author make something that you were so excited about, or maybe they sent you a PR box, like
Yes.
anything you can tell us, like that kind of stuff?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've received a few PR boxes and those are always fun. I haven't gotten one for a while, so I can't remember the last. Oh, Listen for the Lie was the last one I got, and it came with this fun little mug. But
Oh, that's nice.
other things, I haven't gone to any like author meets recently, because they don't seem to be coming to Portland. So if anybody wants to come to Portland, Oregon, I'm sometimes I joke with my East Coast friends that get to go all the time. I'm like, I need to move to the East Coast so I can go with you all. But I
Oh,
met, actually, this is a fun story. One of the women, Denise Williams, is a popular romance writer, and she and I actually were in the same graduate program. I think we're different years, but we worked together at university, and so I know her. And I order all her books autographed. I haven't actually gone to see her and get autographed,
oh.
but it's just been really cool to see somebody I really respect. She's the nicest person in the world. Um, I worked on committees with her. I don't remember the committee, but I remember how she made me feel. And so
Oh,
it's just been fun to watch her become an author and grow and just see everything she's grown. And she writes great books as well. So yeah, that's probably my most like close personal author I
I
know.
love
Um,
that.
yeah, and then there's a couple of authors I've met, through Instagram, but I haven't really gone to a lot of events, not yet.
Mhm.
I think I need to try to figure out more about how I can get involved in that part of it because I think it would be great to meet some of my, like Patricia Cornwell is one of my original auto buys, as is John Grisham, and so I'd love to meet those two, but I just haven't been near where they've
Well,
been.
well, I
So,
can, I can excuse me, recommend something. I'm sorry. Um, I'm sure you have like a local author group in your area because there's writers everywhere, but we just don't know, because it's not on their forehead. I'm an author, So if you like look up, like their author, whatever your town is, Oregon, whatever author group, there's probably a whole list of authors, and then you can look them up on Amazon. Like with my book club, we love supporting local authors. So I went on the local uh, author website. And we picked some books. We've met. This is like with the book club. They came to us. We went to a restaurant. We treated them to dinner. They have come back more than once. They'll come with goodies for everybody. The swag and whatnot. And that's a lot of fun. Like we love that.
yeah,
So I highly recommend, just looking up and seeing who's out there, and you might find a book that you like, and you can connect with the author that way. Letitia, she was the speaker last week, and she was reading this book, and she's like, that's the same street that I used to live on. And then she reads more, and she's like, that house sounds like the house I used to live in. This is so weird. So she got in touch with the author, and the author used to, the book that she wrote, she used the house that she used to live in. So Letitia and the author actually lived in the same house at one time. So
oh
like
my
it's like a small world. You just don't, realize how stuff like that can happen. So
God.
definitely do that and reach out. I'm sure you'll find an author or two that you can connect with.
Yeah, and you just reminded me. I've actually met Kim Johnson also.
Oh,
Uh, she is a Portland-based person, and she wrote, "Oh, This Is My America," an Invisible Son. I might have the first book wrong, and I'm sorry, Kim, if I did that. Um, but she's lovely also, and she actually came. It was the book. This Is My America was the book of the year or whatever, a book that the college read, and so when we do that, then we tend to bring the authors in,
oh,
and
that's
I was
nice.
that she came in. So yeah, she autographed my book for me. And yeah, so I will. I'm definitely going to check into the Oregon author group because
Yeah.
yes, I'd love to connect with more of them.
Yeah, I mean, even if like say there's maybe that is like could also be the umbrella, and then there's smaller groups, or even like your local library might have author stuff. I know, not the smaller libraries, but the bigger ones, like maybe you'll have to travel a little bit further, but they'll have them
Yeah, and
for sure.
I think our public library, at least the one in Salem, probably all of them, but I think they do have like Oregon author sections so that you
Yeah,
can go find, or they
that
might.
is, you're right. They should. You're absolutely right. I'm pretty sure they would have it. What do you have any any rituals or superstitions or anything before you start reading or after you're finished reading? You know how some people, they got to have all their ducks in a row before they could, start dinner, or, you know what I mean? Do you have anything like that with
I
reading?
don't think so. So I think if I have a spare moment, I always have a book on my person. So if I have a spare moment, I will just pick up the book and read. I don't, I'm not very superstitious, so I don't have any like superstitions around that. Um, I'm superstitious about other weird things like cracks in the sidewalk or picking up. But other than that, and I'm trying to think. I definitely have to have my drink next to me. Non-alcoholic drinks, but like water, soda. I'm a bad soda drinker. Have that. I definitely have to have something to drink with me, and sometimes some snacks because I don't know
Yeah.
when I get hungry when I'm reading, but I do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
just, yeah, because you're just sitting there stagnant. It's like you need to do something, you
yeah, yeah, yeah. But other than that, no, not too much around what I do. I do have like a whole setup, like when I go to like do, go into Canva, like there's a whole setup in my office. So I have a candle that I burn. Um, and so I like to have my candle burning because it's just nice and gives me a relaxing smell. And then, yeah, I'll have my like whatever they sent me that this we need to have in your review, and so that's up there, and so it's about like a 10-minute process just to get
Yes.
all my stuff.
So it kind of is like, it is like little, it's not the superstitious part. It's more like the ritual, like lighting the candle, getting your, all set up and with the Canva and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's a lot of work. You got to make sure you're all situated.
yeah, getting my notes together, making sure I have the book near me in case I'm like, what did I want to say? So yeah, yeah. So I would say that's probably just I more have a ritual around production than really reading.
No, that's good. I like it. I'm trying to think if I had any other questions for you. Oh, do you have like a special review formula that you normally go by, or do you just fly off the seat of your
Oh,
pants? How does that work?
that's a great question. I don't have a system. I don't really. If I will also say I am uh I'm not nitpicky, like typo, like sometimes we'll be like, oh, there were a lot of typos in there. I don't really that doesn't come into my review. Let's just say I taught for many years, so like I'm not there to fix grammar or anything like that. So I really am just if I enjoy the story, I give a lot of 3, 4, and 5s. I have don't think I've DNF'd a book yet because I can't do it because I'm just like, well, I want to know. Although I do have one that's been on my shelves for like 3 years, and I'm to the point where like, am I going to pick this up again or should I just not? Um, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely experienced reading books. Like we picked out a book, say, from the for the book club, and you're reading the book, and it's like, oh, who picked this book? And then you're suffering through it, and then all of a sudden it changes, and that particular book was one of the best books I ever read.
It's just,
So you never know. Sometimes you just have to kind of get over that hump. You know what I mean? And then so whatever book it is, maybe try one day when you're in a different, or maybe try. Maybe it's on audio by now.
oh,
Maybe audio will be better for you.
yes, because and that is very much the truth. Like, I think it's Age of Vice. It's an older book, but I have it on audio and an arc of it. And yeah, that one's definitely one I had to listen to on audio. But no, I don't really have like I said, I don't think I've ever given a 1 or 2 star. I'm either a 3, 4, or 5, mostly 4s. 5s are kind of if I'm really wowed and like if I really didn't see something coming, then I'll do a 5. But yeah, but I'm a pretty solid 3 or 4 reviewer. Again, is it good writing? Am I engaged in the story? Sometimes I even like how things like the podcast version or written like kind of a movie script and it's, normal chapters and then you have these movie scripts and I just like that. I like the diversity of
Yes.
media within a so yeah, so I think yeah, I just think it's I've been in some groups with some people where they'll get really harsh, and I'm just like, that's not the point. Like, we're
No,
not.
you're right. You're right. Why do they have to put so many curses in the book? But you know what? took place in Manhattan, New York,
Yeah.
in a bar, there's going to be cursing. Like,
Yeah.
like what's the big deal? And I don't understand people sometimes, but you're right. They have to nitpick everything. And it's like, really? Is that really going to kill you?
Yeah. To me, it stresses me out to do that, to be honest. Like I said, I was a teacher for quite a few years of freshmen, and so I had to be really careful what I said back and things. And I was a freshman too when I got the red, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I tried to be really nice, and I think just in that, I've just figured out ways to like, well, this is good writing, and this is a good start. Maybe we need to do these things, but I just don't think that. I
Yeah,
just,
just
for
pick out,
me,
for the reviews, you just pick out the positive
yeah,
aspects, because
yeah.
there's always a positive somewhere in
Oh yeah,
that book. Even if you didn't like it, there's got to be some positive aspects. That's what that's what I would do. Or I probably, if it was a one or a two, I wouldn't even bother, to tell you the truth. I don't
right.
think I'd even bother putting it up.
I probably,
Some
yeah,
authors don't mind. Well, they say they don't mind, but I think it will. I think it does affect them, and they do think about it, because you'll hear them go, "I remember when I got a 1 star." They remember those,
oh,
but they would rather the person reach out to them and tell them why,
right.
so they can so the author can understand it a little better, like why they chose that, and then the author might say, "Ah, okay, I get it now." But they don't do that, They're
Yeah,
just putting a 1 star on Amazon and saying, "See you later."
yeah, and I'm with you. I don't think I've ever posted one or two. I'm with you. I probably would not post. I'm trying to think of in Goodreads if there are any like from before I was a Bookstagrammer, if there were any. But I doubt it.
Probably
I mean, you know,
not. You're too nice.
I kind of am. No, I'm an Iowan. I'm just kidding. I joke. Iowa nice. It was a slogan for a while. So when people are like, "Oh, you're nice. You're from one of those nice states," I'm like, "Well, it is a slogan." So
That's funny.
yeah. And I think the whole purpose, really, Bookstagram for me is about embracing the authors and pumping them up. Like
Yeah,
just how I look at life in general. I can either be a light spot in the room or I can draw the energy out, and I'd rather be that light spot. And so for me, I'd rather just say yes. This scenery building was great, because you're right. Even I can't think of a book I actually hate. But even in a book maybe I didn't like as much. Well, and sometimes like I had to read Les Miserables in high school. Like I don't even think I finished it, but I think it's because it was too hard at the time,
hmm
and that made me not like it. Not that it's a poorly written book. It's a
right.
great book,
Or
and
you just didn't have interest in that subject. Who knows?
yeah, and then later I read it as an adult, just wanting to know more, and like, oh, everybody's read this, I should read this. It's a classic. And so yeah, and so now I'm like, oh, it's a great book. But yeah, so I think sometimes, oh, mood. Yeah, I think like earlier we were talking about like that book on my shelf that maybe I should look at. Yeah,
Okay,
I think sometimes I can be a mood reader, and yeah, if I pick something up and I'm just like, "Eeh," and then I put it aside, and then later I'll pick it back up, and then it's like, oh, this is actually really good. I'm glad that I picked it back up. So
totally agree. I mean, I could do historical fiction after historical fiction after. Then it's like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I need to read something light and airy and fluffy.
yeah,
So then you'll, go on that kick, and then when you're done with that, then I'm like, I want to get into like thriller. So
yeah,
it's definitely mood and season, I think. Because now all of a sudden you're seeing all these coming out, all the
yeah,
beach reads. So everybody's gearing up. I'm already like, putting in my Amazon, cart, which books I want to check out, or look into, or the library, my library wish list,
yeah,
because they're all coming out. So I want to, figure out which ones I want to
yeah.
read, because in the summer, I'm a beach reader.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to try to do more trips to the coast this summer, because we work 4 10s in the summer, so I have a long weekend, and so perfect
Oh,
for
that's
my
nice.
dog loves the beach, so it's a perfect.
Oh,
Oh
so
yeah.
how
So
far are you away from the coast?
um, I'm about an hour and a half from Lincoln City,
Okay.
so not terribly bad. So it's pretty close for me. I just haven't always been good about going in the summers, and so now I'm like, I really want to start doing some things. You know, going through the loss of my mom, it's like life is really short. Like I want to do stuff.
You're
So, so
right. You're right. Like I can't just stay home and read all
yeah,
day. I could bring the book to the beach and read all day at the beach.
yes, yes. So yes, I'm hoping to do some trips. Of course, I'll go back home this summer and spend some time with my dad. and we'll do some fun stuff. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good summer. But I'm with you. I'm trying to figure out which beach reads I want to read because there's so many good ones coming out. Like that's the thing. There's so many good ones.
I know, and you can't read them all. But speaking of like getting your audiobooks, where do you find your audiobooks mainly?
Mainly, I either get them from Penguin Random House or Libro FM because I'm an influencer for them as well, or Libby. I use the Libby app a lot with
Yes,
my.
I use the Libby a lot. Yeah, or if it's not on Libby, then I'll look on Amazon.
Oh,
But my credits are sacred, so I save them. If I'm dying to read a book and they don't have the audio at the library, then I'll spend my credit
yeah, yes, I
and
forgot.
do Amazon. But I save them up for like books that aren't ready for audio yet. But a lot of authors are doing now, like they're doing it all at one time. The
Yeah,
print, the Kindle, and the audio all at the same time. I've been
yeah,
noticing that more and more, and I've noticed also more people want audiobooks.
yes.
I'm doing a book tour for, actually, this might be a good one for you. It takes place in Greece.
Oh,
It's a beach, yeah. It's a family drama, mother and daughter,
oh, I love that.
and I think they live in New York, but they travel to Greece. Blah 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 blah. It's
Yeah,
a definite beach read. I'll send you the link, and you can look
yeah,
and see
no,
if you want to read it or not.
yeah,
But they have audiobook, print, or Kindle, and so far most people that signed up for the tour picked audiobook.
yeah.
So, and
Yeah, I mean it's nice. It does allow you to read more, and so I'm a huge fan of audiobooks and I'm always talking to people and I think my favorite is really a hardcover old
yeah.
school. I was a late adopter of a Kindle, but I got that I think like 3 years ago now. The best part about that is I can hoard books there and my boyfriend doesn't know. Whereas the physical ones he sees and then he's like, oh,
Right,
uh,
right. Or read at night if he's sleeping. You could still like sneak in a chapter, and it won't bother the light, won't bother him.
yeah, yeah. So it's yeah, and I do have Audible too. And I finally went to the yearly
Yes.
subscription, and I actually just bought 3 books because it's like you're gonna lose your. It was gonna expire soon, so I was like, oh well, I better get them now because otherwise I'll forget and I'll lose my credits. But I'm with you. Like I hoard them, and they're like, yeah, if I can't get it audio, or if it's just something, some books I just know, like I'll read like business books, self help. A lot of those are better for me on audio. I just tend to listen to them better. Or,
Hmm.
yeah, it's just easier for me than reading. Although sometimes I do like to have the book because I do like to highlight and things.
Right, right.
So sometimes I do like the Culture Code was a book that the president recommended reading, and so I was like, oh well, I'm going to read that. And so I did. I listened to it on audio, and then I did buy it. I need to reread it so I can go through and like highlight it. I
Yes,
just haven't.
a lot of people do that. They listen to it, but they also want the print copy too. They want both.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of nice to have both. And I also like if you're listening and you have the hardcover or a Kindle, I can like listen and then, oh, maybe I can't listen right now, but now I can pick up the book. So I do like that I can mix them
Yeah.
together too, especially if I'm in a crunch.
Right, and you need every little second you can to read to get that review done in time.
Exactly. Exactly. Because sometimes it is a crunch, and sometimes like recently I've had to work late a couple of days, and then it's like I have a Saturday morning one, and of course being the West Coast, I'm like, I'm not going to get up at 4 a.m. to write this. So I'll just email and say, hey, I'm really sorry. Like I worked late. Like I said, the main people I work with are really, they're really supportive. They've been super supportive through everything that's gone on in the last couple of years. And so, but that makes it more important for me to want to meet those deadlines too, because I'm like, you guys worked with me when probably you didn't have to, they're letting me still sign up. And, yeah, so
I think it's only the right thing to do, especially during a crisis situation. They have to say, okay, like it's okay. Take family's most important. Take your time. If you when you get a chance to do it, do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've met some really great friends, and sometimes I just get emails checking up on me, like, "Are you okay? You're not posting, and we haven't seen you. Like, what's going on?"
Uh,
So
those
it's
are
nice.
good friends. Those are
Yeah,
good friends.
yeah, yeah. So it's really, Bookstagram really is a great
It
community, and
is. It is. It's everybody's just so sweet and so nice. I've never come across like any type of, like group that has been so nice and supportive, and they help each other, and
Yeah.
Everybody's just kind of like all in it together, and I love it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I guess I have a virtual reading group. I'm part of the SQAF book club. And so today we did our collaboration, but we were like down to the wire. Sorry, group. But we were like down to the wire on this one. I'm supposed to write the write up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm busy. And then, but like somebody else said, hey, Kristen, I have time. I'll do it. And then somebody else ended up popping in. I can do it right now. And so it all came together at the last minute last night, and it turned out perfect today.
So
And
what?
no.
So what? Everybody reads the same book, or how does that work?
So that we do read the same book, but then we do a separate video where we pick a theme. So this one we posted today was lookalike covers. And so everybody, like we either do a 3-second video or pictures or something like that. And then we send it to one person, they make a collaborative video. And then we did do the collab thing. So a couple people posted it. I just had to accept, which was great because, you know, they're different time zones than me. Most are East Coast, and then we do have one in Mountain, and then I'm one of the few on. I think 2 of us are on the West Coast, so it's just kind of nice because you know we can kind of work with the algorithm and then also get our post up, and so that's been a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll pick a book and we read it, and then we have this separate where we pick themes. Like last year we did Earth Day during April. I can't remember what we did
And
in
this is just
March.
like, it's just, you're not really doing this for any author, or it's just you guys, it's just you as a group decide
Yep.
this is what we're going to do. Okay. Interesting.
Yep, and then some of us read the book. I don't think I'm reading this month's book with them. I might be. So I either do the video or I do the book or I do both. But the videos and the books are not always the same thing because we really get to pick. Like Christmas, I think we did our favorite bookish gifts. And so we all picked something, and yeah, it's and that group's awesome. Like, and a lot of the people in that group are like my original people I met on
That's
Instagram.
nice. That's nice. So it's
Yeah,
always, always you have people to bounce ideas off
yeah,
of if you're not sure,
yes, because
what.
like lookalike cover. I was like, what are you guys talking about? And thankfully, like one of the ladies was like, here's a whole bunch, you know, DM me if you need ideas. And I was like, please, yes, please. So yeah, I got some great ideas, and I think mine turned out fun because I found a cute little graphic and I just made the book smaller so
Oh,
I could have a
that's
little.
adorable. Everybody will have to check that out.
Yes, yes, yes. It's my post for today. So please check us out.
Oh, okay. And it's pause.read.repeat. Is it
Yes. Pause dot. Yes, it's pause dot read dot repeat. Yes.
repeat? Okay.
Correct.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Kristin, for coming on. And thank you so much for helping all the authors and everything you do. Be on the lookout for, I'm teaming up with another book tour company, and we were going to do like one big Zoom party, reader appreciation party, but we've had so many authors want to join in on the act that we're going to make it now like we're just doing like one for romance and then one for thrillers and then one, like we're going to do the different genres. So we'll probably do it like every month or every other month, just
Okay.
depending on how it goes. But so keep your eye out for that.
I
And if
will.
any authors listening, definitely, DM me, tell me, that, what genre you're in. And then when it's ready, we can let you know what month we're doing, that particular genre. So it should be good. So this way you guys can pick and choose what you want. You know what I mean?
That's
And we'll
awesome.
have authors, guest authors, giving away books and prizes and all that good stuff.
Well, that sounds great. I will definitely keep my eyes open, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so happy that, I got to see you face to face, and it's always been online, of course. So I'm glad to see you face to face and from one island to another.
Yeah.
Have a
Yes.
great day.
I will. You too. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kristin. Bye.
Bye.